The Old Man and the River. There once was an old man who lived in a small village by the river. He had lived there all his life, and he knew the river intimately. He knew where the shallow spots were, where the currents were strong, and where the fish were biting. One day, a young man came to the village. He was new to the area, and he didn't know the river very well. He asked the old man if he could teach him how to fish. The old man agreed, and he took the young man down to the river. He showed him how to bait the hook, cast the line, and wait for a bite. The young man was eager to learn, and he soon caught his first fish. He was so excited that he threw his arms up in the air and shouted for joy. The old man smiled. "That's the way," he said. "Now, you're starting to understand the river." The young man continued to fish with the old man, and he learned a lot from him. He learned how to read the river, how to anticipate the fish, and how to be patient. One day, the young man caught a particularly large fish. He was so proud of himself that he ran back to the village to show it to his friends. The old man watched him go, and he shook his head. "He has learned much," he said, "but he has not yet learned the most important lesson." The next day, the young man came back to the river. He was not happy. He had lost his fish, and he had lost his friends. The old man listened patiently. When the young man was finished, he said, "You have learned much about the river, but you have not yet learned the most important lesson. The most important lesson is this: you cannot control the river. You can only control yourself." The young man thought about this for a long time. He realized that the old man was right. He could not control the river, but he could control his own actions. The young man decided to go back to the river. He was determined to learn the most important lesson. The young man sat by the river for many days. He watched the river flow, and he listened to the sound of the water. He learned to appreciate the beauty of the river, and he learned to let go of his attachment to his fish. One day, the young man was sitting by the river when he saw a fish swimming by. He reached out and gently touched the fish. The fish did not swim away. The young man smiled. He had finally learned the most important lesson. He could not control the river, but he could control himself. And that was enough. This story is a reminder that we cannot control everything that happens to us in life. But we can control how we react to it. We can choose to be happy and content, even when things are not going our way. We can choose to live a life of no regrets.